I think there's going to be a slight delay before we get underway. One thing, Dominic, that Ben is going to have to overcome today as Murphy gets his glass is the fact that the head-to-head is very lopsided in the Masters champion's favour.
Ben Woollaston.
Yes, absolutely. Ben Woollaston about to break off with frame one here, having only beaten Shaun Murphy once in their previous 8 encounters.
And that was a long time ago, the 2016 German Masters. It went the distance that day, 5-4, but Murphy has held sway on every other occasion. And quite a few of Murphy's wins have been pretty resounding ones, including 6-2 at the UK Championship a decade ago. But they haven't played since 2020. That was a 4-1 win for Murphy over this distance, of course, at the Welsh Open. Oh, that is a beautiful bit of cueing, and we've seen a lot of that from Murphy this season.
Yeah. I mean, to start the match with a pot like that is just something that Shaun does so well these days. He's such a terrific potter, beautifully fluent cueist.
8. Nine.
Of course, you have to wonder how much practice Ben Woollaston would have been able to put in. Wouldn't have been expecting to be a participant in this World Grand Prix.
16.
Only due to the withdrawal of Steve Maguire that he takes his place in this year's event. Ordinarily, he'd have expected to not be playing again until the World Championship qualifiers. Well, Shaun Murphy has declared a foul on himself there. I think he either fouled... Oh, look, the red came back off the pack of reds and made contact with the bridge hand of Shaun Murphy. Well, that's very good of Shaun to declare such a foul. It's something that we're proud of in our sport here, that so many snooker players are very courteous to one another.
Thank you.
And they do declare fouls upon themselves. Seems to be an issue now with the scoreboard. Referee Maike Kesseler. I think she's just speaking to the marker there. Maybe a mistake has been made with the scores. Maybe they've forgotten to put the foul 4 on that.
Thank you, Ben. Sorry.
Ben Woollaston is entitled to because of the declaration from Shaun Murphy. Well, Shaun's done all the hard work, but it's Ben Woollaston who's benefiting from it all because of that foul from Shaun.
9.
Can play for the red closest to the left corner here to hold for the black into the right corner. Well, is there red just
14.
below the pink that's potable here for Ben as well? There is. That's the one he's played for. So this time can run through for the black into the left corner. And that's just nudged another red or 2 into play. Ben Woollaston, 37 years of age now, from Leicester. Turned professional back in 2004. Currently ranked 45 in the world. Has been as high as 26. That was 10 years ago, though.
23.
Made just 11 centuries this season compared to the 48 of Shaun Murphy. But he has made a 147, Ben Woollaston. That came in a European Tour event back in 2014.
29. $34. $35.
It's finished rather straight on the black, so that just means that he can... Well, he's got a bit of an angle to work with. There was always a likelihood that he'd be able to run through or screw back for red into either of the centre pockets, so he's still in good position here.
42.
This is Woollaston's 4th World Grand Prix appearance. He's yet to win a match in this tournament. Of course, he made the Welsh Open final a decade ago, losing to Higgins. He's been in 6 other ranking quarterfinals. He's also been dogged by ill health in recent times. He had a very bad reaction to a COVID vaccination, and he was still feeling the effects of that long after having the jab itself. So that clearly has been very debilitating for him, but he's just got on with the job of trying to fulfill his potential. He's a terrific player.
$51.
Oh, he's taken these very well, Ben Woollaston. Just needs a red and a high value colour to win the first frame, barring snookers. Although all these could have been Shaun Murphy's had he not committed that foul.
59. $66. $67.
Yeah, Murphy clearly a bit unlucky in knocking in the red and spreading them. One spinning back onto his fingers, which he immediately owned up to. I don't think referee Maike Kesseler saw it, actually, so well played Murphy, but equally well played Woollaston to take the opportunity given to him.
5. $81. $82. $88. 90.
Gonna have to go some to make the century now. No century then for Ben Woollaston, but a very fluent 90 break nonetheless after Shaun Murphy's inadvertent foul. And so Woollaston leads 1-0. Shaun Murphy breaking off in frame number 2. Things were looking good for him when he went into the reds, but the red coming back out of the pack and just touching his bridge hand, which he immediately owned up to, and Ben Woollaston took full advantage by knocking in a 90 break for 1-0.
Shaun has caught that so thinly that, well, just look where the cue ball's finished. Another chance of Ben Woollaston here. It's amazing how matches can turn around in a rather innocuous fashion, really. Shaun looked fantastic so early on in that first frame and then developed the reds, and from nowhere red has just sprung out the pack towards his bridge hand, made contact with it, so he declared the foul upon himself. Commendable for doing that, but it cost him the frame, and you can turn a match around in no time at all, something like that happening, particularly when the matches of such a short duration as these are at best of 7. But that's gone wrong for Ben. He went into the pack of reds there, but didn't go into them, right into the heart of them anyway, and that's why it hasn't finished particularly favourably for Ben. He's just going to have to play a safety shot now.
Ben Woollaston 6.
As well as Shaun Murphy's played this season, he's still got the issue of his crucible seeding to address, because as things stand, he's provisionally 19th in that regard. Of course, he's got all of the points that he won for winning both the Players and Tour Championships from a couple of seasons ago. He has the full set, but with those points coming off, as things stand, he would be looking at qualification for the Crucible, and that's not guaranteed. We saw what happened with Neil Robertson last season. Mind you, were Murphy to have to qualify, and he did, that is not a draw that you would want in the first round as one of the seeds. But of course, it's still within his hands. He's well placed in terms of the one-year list. He's in 10th position, so he's going to be in both the aforementioned Players and Tour Championships as things stand, with power to add to his points tally.
Shaun hasn't controlled the cue ball particularly well there. There is a possible red into the green pocket for Ben, but he's turning it down. And I like that from Ben. He's probably considering the scoreboard situation, the fact that he won the first frame convincingly after that foul from Shaun Murphy. And he just wants to keep the pressure on the former world champion. Currently ranked number 12 in the world. Shaun has been as high as 3, but that was quite a while ago now. Made 32 centuries last season, Shaun Murphy's made 48 already this season. I think it's important from Ben Woollaston's point of view, though, to play an attacking game, play his own style of play. He is an attacking player, Ben. You mustn't give the very top players too much respect, because they'll pick up on that. Shaun knows Ben's game inside out, and if Shaun thinks that Ben is turning down pots he'd normally go for, that'll just serve to promote Shaun Murphy's confidence and make him all the more difficult to beat. You've got to put the top players under pressure, but you've got to attack them as well and make your intentions known. So I hope Ben does that here this afternoon.
One.
Well, could have been a more favourable cannon for Shaun there. He has the brown or the green into the centre pocket, but I wouldn't want to be rolling these in, thank you very much. We've seen evidence already that the table may not be
Rainbow.
perfectly level. We'll just have a better idea here. Let's see. Just seems to turn down just a fraction.
Murphy, one.
So Woollaston presented with another good-looking chance to do a bit more damage.
One.
I mentioned that the table may not be running as truly as it could. That's not a criticism, it's an observation really. It's never easy to level a snooker table on such a thick carpet such as this. Tables do settle after a couple of days and often have to be looked at again in terms of their level. I'm sure they will have been.
5.
Oh, he's played that beautifully, Ben. He has a chance here to play a delicate cannon into those 5 reds. could play for the loose one, and he has done.
Ten. $11.
Looking for just his third round of 16 appearance this season. Got that far at both the English and the Wuhan Open.
$18. $19. $24. $25. $30.
Well, you can see from the body language of Woollaston that that cannon has not gone to plan. Maike Kesseler declares touching ball, so looks like end of break. Shaun Murphy, I'm sure, will be relieved, assuming the break does end here, that the damage wasn't greater after he missed to the right centre.
He's been very unlucky there, Ben Woollaston. He really has been. Could have been on a couple of reds very easily. He's on nothing. But he does have a touching ball, which is certainly an advantage. Problem is, with reds spread all over the table as they are, it's not going to be easy to play a telling safety at all here.
Ben Woollaston, 30.
I think Shaun had to play the shot that he did there. He probably knew that there would be a semblance of a chance of a cross double on this red near the left centre for Ben Woollaston. Problem is, though, would the cue ball run into other reds and prohibit Ben from returning it to the bulk area? Having said that, with that red that's below the green and the brown anyway, playing a safety shot into bulk would be risky. So this isn't straightforward by any means for Ben Woollaston.
Foul.
Well, he did attempt the cross double and he's found the corner pocket with the cue ball. So Shaun Murphy now, with that good safety shot, has a chance to score heavily and level this match up at 1-1.
1. Seven. Eight.
Already looking at the scores and the points that Shaun could amass here by potting all these open reds with high value colours. He would still need that red that's near the blue, so still plenty of work ahead
15.
for Shaun Murphy.
$16.
Murphy's played exceptionally well this season. He's also been on the wrong end of a couple of quite outstanding performances where he was simply blown off the table. Barry Hawkins at the UK Championship, and then last week Joe O'Connor did likewise in an even more impressive fashion at the World Open. Murphy said afterwards it was among the very best a player has ever produced against him in his entire career. But I guess you can be more philosophical about that sort of defeat than one where you've had chances and let them slip.
32.
Shaun's one of these players that you enjoy playing because you're going to get an attacking style of play. The balls will be in the open the majority of the time, and when you do get opportunities against Shaun,
39.
they're normally very good ones. Now that's gone astray. Hamper queuing over the red, and all of a sudden this break could come to an end very quickly because this is far from easy, as you can see. Oh, good pot, very good pot.
40.
Well, he has an angle on the pink perhaps here to play it to the right centre and develop that red that's near the blue. Is it worth the risk? No, played it into the green pocket and he's missed it, so Ben Woollaston
40.
comes back to the table, just 9 points behind. Good pot from Ben Woollaston, has an angle on the black to cannon into the blue and the red, but if he doesn't cannon the blue and the red, oh, he's not playing it. I'm a little surprised,
Ben Woollaston 1.
but it was always going to be a good snooker once he dropped that cubel in behind the black. Every chance that Shaun misses this red, he will leave a free ball. But I'm still surprised that Ben didn't attempt the black there to cannon the red and bring it into play.
Foul, miss. Ben Woollaston
So, a free ball has been left, and I wonder if Ben can nominate the pink here and try and just cannon that red in potting the pink to bring it into play.
The reason, of course, it's a free ball is that Woollaston can't see the extreme outer edge, the right-hand side of the red as we look. So he can take a colour as though it was an extra red, but it's going back in the event.
Shaun? Yeah, thank you. foul. You miss. Ben Woollaston for free ball.
Well, he may as well have this put back as well, I think. I don't think the free ball will benefit Ben greatly. Yeah, he's going to have them replaced.
Queenie, can you just bring me up the picture for the yellow, please?
Queenie Lou doing the marking, just assisting Maike Kesseler here.
This direction. I can't hear you. Yeah?
Dave Gilbert took the first frame, by the way, on table 2 to lead Chris Wakelin 1-0. And Gilbert back at the table after Wakelin built an early 30-plus lead in the second frame. It's on Discovery Plus, of course.
Thank you.
Third time lucky for Murphy. And a snooker to boot, by the looks of it.
Yeah, I wonder how easy this red is to hit. I think it shouldn't be a problem off the side cushion. You'd have to flirt with the blue, perhaps. He's got to judge the amount of side spin perfectly here. He's only got probably 3/4 of the red that he can hit. The problem is for Ben, he'll be very concerned that the cube will cannon into the pink after hitting the red and leave everything on for Shaun. That's why he played it with a lot more pace. And I don't think it's worked out too badly.
Talking of that crucible seeding and Shaun Murphy's need for extra points to ensure that he doesn't have to try and qualify for the crucible. He's just under 18,000 points behind Ali Carter, who sits in that 16th spot right now. Carter is in action later against John Higgins, the new World Open champion, of course. Carter made the semi-finals of that event and the Welsh Open previously.
I'll be interested to see how John Higgins gets on in this event. Obviously, brimful of confidence after his victory at the World Open, but how tired is he? All the travelling and all those matches that he's been playing.
That match will be on Discovery Plus. It's the first match of the evening session on table 2. Wu Yizer against Pang Junxu, second up on that table. The winner of that to play Stuart Bingham, who earlier beat Mark Williams, of course. Jack Lazowski coming through by the same 4-2 scoreline against Zhang Anda.
Very nicely played by Shaun. Snookered Ben comprehensively behind the black. He may have to swerve around the black to cannon the red. I don't like coming off the side cushion when the object ball is so close to a corner pocket. It's easy just to knock it on unless you play it with a lot of pace, and if you do miss it, there's every chance you could leave your opponent a free ball in this instance. So I'd certainly favour the swerve.
Foul. Miss. Shaun Murphy 4. Yeah. Poignet for the brown place.
Queenie Lou called back into action to ensure that the balls are exactly as they were before Woollaston's foul.
Surgeon. Tiny bit, yeah. 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 Sure. Thank you. Foul, you miss. Shaun Murphy 4.
Well, that's the best way to play it. If you're going to not play the swerve. But it's not an easy line to try to replicate. Need to play it with a touch more pace. I think he's considering the swerve now. He's just having a look to see if it's a potential or not, because it is quite a severe swerve that he'll have to contemplate.
Thank you. Foul, you miss. Shaun Murphy 4, free ball.
So now it's Murphy who gets a free ball. Looking to level this match up after the disappointment of the manner in which he lost the first frame when he was in, going into the bunch. The red spinning back out of the pack and onto his bridge hand, allowing Woollaston in for a break of 90. So he's nominated pink as the extra red.
Well, that hasn't finished too badly. You can punch the pink in, take the cue ball off the top cushion and back towards this red. Just missed the line a little bit. Now, Shaun has always prided himself as being one of the game's greats when it comes to rest play. Well, this isn't straightforward. 19 points the lead. Still work to do. I think he played for the green there into the left centre, but he's overrun it slightly. May have to consider the brown. Just brown and the yellow are all that Shaun would require to level the match up at 1-1. But this brown is a tricky one.
It's been a battle, this frame, but Murphy now on the cusp of being in a position to level it. at 1 each.
Shaun Murphy 12. Thank you.
Well, Shaun's played that pretty well. I don't think it's a snooker, but there's not much that Ben can do with this. Well, not without risk, anyway. Tried to do a little more than perhaps he should have done, and he's left a pot on. Shaun, normally very good at these. Oh dear. Well, he's 26 ahead, so he needs to escape from this snooker, otherwise Ben can win. And it's not a certainty by any means.
Foul. Shaun Murphy 2 and Woollaston 4.
So the frame is live again.
Well, it's a very good green from Ben, but he just couldn't hold the cue ball for the brown. But if he can knock the brown in, he'd probably be on the blue. Big pressure on this if he does take it on, but is he? Could play the brown over to the right-hand side cushion, get the cue ball in behind the blue. That's what I think he's playing. Oh, he's taken the brown on. Oh, he's a long way away. I don't think he played that particularly convincingly, and it's cost him the frame, it would seem.
Four.
And relief for Murphy, when he seemed to have the frame won, when he potted the yellow, only to snooker himself and failed to get out of it. But finally, through sheer persistence, Murphy has equalised.
$15.
That frame was hard work, but Murphy won't mind about that now because he's got it on the board to level the match. One frame apiece.
Thank you. Frame 3. Ben Woollaston to break.
Ben Woollaston breaks off in frame 3, one apiece with Shaun Murphy. Woollaston, of course, here only because of Stephen Maguire's late withdrawal for medical reasons. He actually was in 34th space on the one-year list, but with both O'Sullivan and Maguire pulling out, bumped up to 32nd, hence his crack at Murphy. Oh, that looks like an in-off.
Foul. Ben Woollaston 4.
He's only ever beaten Murphy once in 8 attempts. But given this is an opportunity he didn't expect to have, anything today is a bonus, really. Not least the 10,000 points and pounds he's guaranteed. Oh, but the double kiss.
Foul. Ben Woollaston 4.
An eventful start to this third frame. Murphy already fouling twice. Murphy, of course, a former champion in this tournament. Defeated Stuart Bingham in Llandudno in a decider back in 2016. And 2 seasons ago, won both the Players and the Tour Championships quite brilliantly to complete the set.
One. Six.
He played that exceptionally well, and if he's covered the pocket for the blue by the pink, which he has, he's very unlucky.
Oh, Ben will be disappointed at missing that yellow. It's a great opportunity that he had there.
One. 8. 9. 16. 17.
'Now, in an ideal world, Shaun would leave himself an angle on this next black to screw into those 6 reds, knowing that he should be guaranteed to be on the red that's just near his bridge hand there. So there is the angle.
5.
Just a delicate cannon. He only needs to bring 2 or 3 reds into play. He won't be looking to necessarily develop them all. He needs to guarantee himself of being on this red to the right corner, and he is. He may have one to the right centre as well.
32. 33. 40.
Shaun looking set fair now to go on and win this 3rd frame and take a 2-1 lead, having lost the 1st frame to that break of 90 by Ben Woollaston.
41. 48. 49. 56. 57. 64. 65.
'Just this
72.
red required. He'd like to be on it straighter than this. He may even consider the one over the centre pocket, but no. Ah, it's gone in, so
73.
barring snookers, it will be 2-1 to Shaun Murphy.
No doubt that Woollaston was unlucky to see the pink block
79.
the straightforward blue into the left centre.
80.
Missed the alternative yellow, and this is the result. Murphy punishing that mistake to full effect.
$85. 86. 92. 94.
Murphy's passed 700 career centuries this season.
97.
Closing in on his 49th of the campaign.
Shaun Murphy, 97.
What a shame. The century snatched from his grasp by the in-off, but Murphy won't care too much. He now leads 2-1.
Thank you. Frame 4. Shaun Murphy to break.
Shaun Murphy breaks off in frame 4. 2-1 up now on Ben Woollaston, who missed the yellow in the previous frame when he was expecting a routine blue instead. The pink came to obscure the centre pocket, and Murphy stepped in with what was nearly a century. In off the brown. And so 97 instead, but a 2-1 lead nonetheless. Chris Wakelin has pulled a frame back meanwhile on table 2, so Dave Gilbert now leads by the same score, 2-1.
Much too thick from Shaun, so a chance here for Ben to play a thick safety, bring a few reds into play, develop the black as well. A little surprised he chose to play it that way, just a delicate thin safety instead of the one that I suggested. And he's tied the black up. But I think, as I say at the beginning of the match, I'm not sure how much practice Ben has actually put in. Wasn't expected to take his place among this elite field here at the World Grand Prix, and was probably just going to have a few weeks off ahead of building his form up for the World Championship qualifiers that will take place in early April. But as a result of Steve Maguire's withdrawal, he was given a place in this year's event here at the World Grand Prix, but he may well be just short of practice, Ben Woollaston, so that I think will dictate his shot selection.
One. Six. Seven.
having missed the blue, he'll be relieved that he didn't get nicely on a red.
Yeah, just looking at Ben's demeanour and the shots that he's playing, the way he's playing them as well, just suggests to me a player a little bit out of form. It's not his fault, he didn't expect to be hit. That's a very good result for Ben. Cue ball's finished in a very awkward position for Shaun. He can't see enough of the red near the right corner to attempt the pot. And the pink is blocking off the left-hand side of the table. So Shaun's in a bit of difficulty here.
He played pretty much the perfect tournament to claim his second Masters title. He beat Gary Wilson in the round of 16. Neil Robertson, who'd come through that thrilling fight back against John Higgins, having got into the tournament because of Ronnie O'Sullivan's withdrawal, 6-2 in the last 8, and then, of course, the maximum against Mark Allen on his way to a 6-3 victory, and then 10-7 against Gary Wilson in the final.
Well, Shaun went all out there to hide the red near the corner pocket. But that other red has come across and potentially made a plant, but I'm not sure Ben can see enough of the red to make the plant. Must be close. No, he couldn't. Well, Shaun was a little fortunate there. But I think Ben has been likewise. I don't think he's left a potable red on for Shaun.
Another chance then for Woollaston to get himself in. Obviously, it's not ideal with the black currently tied up.
One.
Again, he's not happy with where the cue balls ended up.
7. Eight.
Ben won't be particularly pleased with that positional shot. He's the wrong side of the pink a little bit now. He's going to have to fight for position for the next red, which may have to be the one next to his bridge hand there. Well, that's as good as he could have done.
14.
I think Ben has finished on this red in such a way that he could run through into the black and the red to try and be on the black, but that seems unlikely to me. Played the cannon, but missed it altogether.
15. One. Two. And Woollaston 22.
So Woollaston protecting what he's got, getting Murphy behind the green, 29 in front in his bid to make this a best of 3 frame match from here. Good hit from Murphy. Chris Wakelin is currently 49 points in front in frame 4 against Dave Gilbert on table 2, looking to level at 2-all himself.
He'll be disappointed to have cannoned the brown of the cue ball there. Give Shaun Murphy a chance to play a really good safety now. Try and get the cue ball in behind the blue. Pace is beautiful. How's the line? Oh, a fraction out, but he has put a red near the right corner and hidden it by the green, so Ben still has a problem here. It's a tough table at the moment. The blue close to the baulk cushion, the black has been out of commission throughout. So it's a long road back
for Murphy in terms of turning this into something frame winning, but a chance to reduce the deficit at least.
Four. Five.
That was nicely controlled by Shaun. Saw the cue ball rebound from the top cushion there and just lose a bit of pace. Shaun had to control that loss of pace, and he has. Lovely angle on the yellow now to play for one of the reds into the left corner. Well, he's played for this lone red here along the top cushion. So maybe some of these reds
7.
just below the pink that look available into the left corner may not be as easy to get onto as I may have thought.
Eight.
Chris Wakelin has just levelled with Dave Gilbert, so 2 apiece on table 2 and on Discovery Plus.
Twelve.
He's left himself a lot to do here, Shaun. The red to the left corner is missable. And the cue ball will be cannoning into other balls here. Great pot. Develop the black. Is he on it? How many reds has he potted here? Just the one. Oh, look where that's finished.
13.
I can't imagine a worse outcome for Shaun Murphy.
I think the pink's the only colour he's not snooking on.
Yeah, and what does he do with that red right over the pocket? He can't just roll up to the pink because of the red next to the cue ball, which is potable to the centre pocket. He's going to have to come off the cushion maybe and try and leave the cue ball behind the blue. That's the only shot I can see. Could he come off the bulk cushion? Can he see enough of the bulk cushion to try and drop him behind the green? Oh, well, this isn't going to reach. I don't think this is going to reach. It hasn't.
Foul. Gonna miss. Shaun Murphy, 13.
Well,
5.
Ben will have to put Shaun in from there because he can't have the cue ball replace Shaun, and he has to hit it just a fraction harder and the snooker would be affected, so he'll have to put Shaun in from there and hope that he doesn't pot the red that's over the corner pocket. That's all he can do. It is a free ball, but yeah, there was no other option for Ben there. He just had to hope now that Shaun doesn't knock this red in that's over the corner pocket.
Foul. Gonna miss. Ben Woollaston, 7.
Foul and a miss, but this certainly won't be going back. Red right over the pocket. So an opportunity for Ben Woollaston to level this match. Murphy was most unfortunate just now to leave himself where he did.
6. Seven.
Well, Ben is just 2 or 3 more pots away now from levelling this match up at 2-all. Would love to be just a little straight on the blue. He could consider the black if it's dead straight, just a hole for red into the left corner, but the black is missable. There's no guarantee here that Ben will finish on his next red. Played the cannon. Oh, and played it beautifully.
Currently playing
13.
with a world ranking of 45. He has been as high as 26. But that was a decade ago now. The same year that he made the final of the Welsh Open, losing to John Higgins. As mentioned, in more recent times, he's had quite significant health issues brought on by a negative reaction to a COVID vaccination. That's clearly affected at times his ability to practice effectively, to produce the sort of form of which he's capable on the match table. But we've seen evidence again today of what a good player he can be. He'd like this red in as well. And he's got it. So it's going to be 2 each. It's going to be a best of 3 frame match from here.
And Woollaston, 19.
Shaun Murphy coming back, but only 35 points on the table, and snookered as well. As things stand, 3 4-point snookers to tie the frame.
Well, that's worked out well for Shaun. 47 behind. He's hoping that somehow he can get a snooker and extract a free ball situation from the affair. And the only way he can do that is if he can get a snooker and somehow get that red right behind a colour somewhere. In this instance, perhaps yellow or brown. Well, with that red going in, this frame is now over, and it will be 2 frames all, and all to play for. Difficult to call a winner. Ben's making mistakes, but so is Shaun Murphy.
Ten. 13. 17. 22. 28.
Woollaston clears to the pink to restore parity at 2 frames all.
Woollaston to break.
Just underway. Frame number 5 of the possible 7, 2 apiece. Woollaston levelling up with Shaun Murphy.
Shaun's looking here to play 1 red onto another, to deflect off another red towards the pocket. There you go. Oh, and it's in. Well, would you believe it? That wasn't a fluke. That was completely intended by Shaun. He had a look at it and he executed it beautifully. And I think, well, he's on the green, but does he have an angle on it to be able to get onto his next red?
Shaun Murphy 4. Foul. Woollaston 4.
Well, he caught his previous safety shot too thinly. That one was on the thick side, but at least the cue ball's found the pocket, and in some ways you could say he's returned the cue ball back to bulk. Can't see any pots that Woollaston is likely to attempt here. Shaun was looking at something. Not entirely sure what it is. A plant. Oh, that may be a plant. No. He was just trying to work out a way of keeping the black in play, I think. But the shot that he played, as you can see, gave him the opportunity to get the cue ball exactly where he wanted it, in behind the yellow. And that's a very good shot that Shaun has spotted there. Ben's in a bit of trouble now. Can't see any likelihood that Ben can return the cue ball back to bulk here without considerable risk. This will have to be very, very thin. Well, I think he had to play the shot that he attempted there, and that was a wafer thin contact on that red. But you can see the damage that is caused by that mistake.
One.
Shaun beginning to realise, I think, that this table is playing rather heavily now, and he's not getting the reaction out the cue ball with backspin that he's expecting to get. Left himself a slightly awkward blue now.
Six. Seven.
It is an important match for Murphy as he looks to secure that crucible seeding. His hopes certainly wouldn't be over if he lost today, because he's well placed with certainly the Players' Championship in mind. He's 10th on the one-year list, so as things stand, he's in both the Players' and the Tour Championship to follow, but he is just under 18,000 points behind that final 16th qualification spot to guarantee you'll be at the Crucible, occupied at present by Ali Carter. So a win today would certainly help, but that's gone wrong.
Do you know, I was shaking my head when I saw him pick up the rest there and attempt that red over the corner pocket. I thought, why would you play that and not the red that's just to the right of the pink into the left centre? That positional shot is always likely to go astray. It's just the way the table's playing. It's difficult to position that cue ball exactly where you want to.
Shaun Murphy, 13.
Chris Wakelin has just taken a 3-2 lead over Dave Gilbert. So that's 3 on the bounce now from the former shootout winner. The winner of that match on table 2 will take on either Neil Robertson or Yuan Sijun.
Very good safety from Ben Woollaston. That cue was tight against the cushion, which really does limit what Shaun can do now.
Yeah.
Maybe some sort of distraction for Murphy as he weighs up his next shot. Both players have made 90 breaks in this match. But there have been a few errors to go with those breaks. 2-all feels about right on the balance of play.
That's a really nice shot that Shaun has played there. He'd have loved that cue ball to have been an inch or so closer to the top cushion, but nevertheless, Ben doesn't have an easy safety shot to play here, unless he just drops into the reds very slowly and delicately. Too risky to try and play the cue ball into bolt. There are a couple of reds that may be possible into the left centre. Well, Shaun must glance off the red next to the black and leave a cue ball on the top cushion here again. Good cue ball from Ben, but I just wonder if the red nets the brown is potable, albeit you'd never risk it with that red that's close to the blue, which is a certainty to be left into the right centre if Shaun were to attempt this red that's next to the brown. you would only play this red into the left centre if it was a last and final option, but Shaun can do other things with the cue ball here. But this is short of pace, and I think there may be a gap between red and pink here to play the red into the right centre, and Shaun will be bitterly disappointed if that's the case.
He wore that sort of expression as he walked back to his chair, realising he'd got that one wrong, so half a chance for Woollaston.
One.
Well, it was a good pot on the green, but an even better cannon from cue ball to yellow. That's put Ben in A1 position here. Can play for the pink into the same pocket as the red, and can leave an angle on the pink to bring further reds into play as well if he needs to.
Five.
Just wonder if Ben can hold the pink spot here. Although the pink spot's not available, now that's a bonus for Ben, because the pink now goes onto the black spot, and it's opened a path up for a couple of reds now into this right corner. I don't think this pink will respot. I'll soon find out. Oh, I'm wrong, it does. I must have been looking at a chalk mark just now in the previous camera shot rather than the actual pink spot, so yeah, it's not so good for Ben now.
12.
But at least the black's available. Shake of the head from Ben. He does have a choice of two reds into that yellow pocket, but well, he may have to take the more difficult of the two reds, the one that's further away, because he's not ideally on this red that's closest to the cue ball, having to play it with the rest.
Woollaston 19.
So Shaun Murphy's safety error when he left the red to the right centre for Woollaston not proving overly expensive, and a decent chance himself.
1. Four. 5.
The rightmost red of that little quartet next to the pink is available into the right corner. Don't think the pink is possible anywhere, but at least Shaun...
13.
Well, he's left himself an angle on the black here to go into those 4 reds if he wishes to, but there's no guarantee he'll finish on a red. Personally, I'd prefer to play for the loose red if I could, if I had enough angle on the black to play up for it. That's what Shaun's decided to do, because in just leaving himself high on this red, he can run through for the black and just nudge a couple of other reds into play now.
$21. $28. $29. $36. $37.
So it looks as though Ben Woollaston's misread with the rest into the yellow pocket. It's going to prove expensive.
45.
That seals it for Murphy, barring snookers, but it's unlikely Woollaston will get the chance.
$52. Shaun Murphy. 52.
Well, that would certainly have sealed it, but Woollaston comes back. $46 the difference, 35 there, so 3 snookers as things stand for Woollaston.
One.
So Shaun Murphy's going to be 1 up with 2 to play. Woollaston
5.
had an opportunity, but the break ended prematurely with that error with the rest. Shaun Murphy has taken advantage. This time Woollaston remains seated. So the reigning Masters champion within a frame of progression here in Hong Kong on day 1 of the World Grand Prix, live on TNT Sports. Murphy leading Ben Woollaston by 3 frames to 2. Shaun Murphy breaking off then in the frame he needs to progress to the round of 16. Not the best of breaks, catching the blue. 3-2 up on the late replacement Ben Woollaston with Welsh Open runner-up Stephen Maguire withdrawing for medical reasons, as did, of course, Ronnie O'Sullivan. Woollaston and Hossein Vafai, the beneficiaries.
One.
Very good red from Ben Woollaston. Wasn't without risk, but he's been a little unfortunate, I feel, not to be on the pink a little better than he would appear to be. I think it's a thin cut into the right corner, and I don't think he's any likelihood of finishing on a red if he attempts it, so just a safety.
Ben Woollaston, 1.
It's a little risky to play off the side of the pack to try to get the cue ball back into bolt because of the couple of stray reds to the left. So just the containing safety shot played by Shaun, but he hasn't played it particularly well. He's a good 8 or 9 inches short of that top cushion, and there may be a red that Ben can attempt here into the right centre.
Similar scenario to the previous frame where Murphy left a red to this right centre pocket, which Woollaston dispatched, as he has again. Sadly, from Woollaston's point of view, the break ended shortly thereafter with a miss with the rest into the yellow pocket, but a chance to build a lead as he bids to take this match the distance.
Just didn't get enough backspin into the cue ball there. He can still cut this red in, but he will need to be a little more careful with the positional aspect of the shot. Like to play for the pink. Oh, this doesn't look too good to me. Well, not the worst cannon in the world. This pink is possible into the green pocket, but it's very missable.
And Woollaston, 6.
Much for Murphy to do to turn this into anything of substance. Once again, high value colours are awkward.
One ball.
Well, that was a complete misjudgment by Shaun.
5.
But having said that, a 4-ball cannon on that black would have left him on a red to the left corner.
Shaun Murphy 5.
Well, you can see the yellow is blocking off the right-hand half of the table. With that red near the left-hand side cushion, if Shaun attempts to play into bulk here, it could be very tricky. I've no idea why he's playing this red. Thin off it on the left-hand side, perhaps, yeah. That was his only way of getting back to bulk safely.
It's a pretty challenging table, isn't it? The black well and truly tied up now with the red nestling against it. Both pink and blue not where they should be.
Foul. Shaun Murphy 4.
Ben has played a few of his safety shots towards corner pockets. I suppose there's always a likelihood that he'd find the pocket on one occasion. As Finn has already suggested, all the high value colours comprehensively tied up. Shaun is probably going to attempt this red to the right corner, but he's only really got green and brown to play for. He's missed that by a long way.
This is horrible, isn't it? Horrible cueing.
Yeah, for me, he's just got to roll the cue ball in behind the brown here. It's too difficult to attempt the pot, too risky. Yeah, I don't think he's got the snooker.
Meanwhile, Dave Gilbert has Mr. Tricky Red playing with pace into the left corner in the decider against Chris Wakelin. He's now back in and just a handful of points behind in their deciding frame. Table 2 and Discovery Plus. The evening session will be getting underway in around about 2 hours and 40 minutes. Judd Trump, top of the bill, 3 times World Grand Prix champion, world number 1 of course, up against Gary Wilson. And then later it'll be the world champion Kyron Wilson against Matthew Selt. Table 2 matches, John Higgins against Ali Carter. That's a blockbuster for the first round. And then later Wu Yize against Pang Junju. The winner of that to play Stuart Bingham, who beat Mark Williams earlier today.
I think Shaun must play this red that's nearest the left corner. He'd have to avoid the double kiss, and the problem is as well that red could come across the table and knock something towards his right corner, but don't see how he can play easily off the main bunch around the pink spot there and get the cue ball back to bulk.
Maike Kesseler having a look. It's just one of those very difficult frames when the high value colours become awkward. Scoring becomes extremely difficult. The balls tend to go in difficult spots all over the table, and that's kind of the way things are at the moment. Oh, he's just shaved that red when a thicker cannon could have had him in a world of trouble.
Yes, if he pleased with the outcome, the red near the right corner is potable for Shaun, but the cube will be cannoning into the 2 reds below it, so no need to take that risk.
Murphy's picked one out.
One. Different one.
The red, obviously not by design, but whether it's going to lead to anything significant is an entirely different question. Murphy with the long stuff here.
Prix.
Green ball.
A better pot than it looked, because it's never easy when you've got the extensions on cue and rest. But the problem remains for Murphy that this is a very awkward table as things stand. Much to be done to fashion something of significance here. Seems a bit crazy given how brilliantly he played at the Masters that his position at the World Championship as a seed is in some doubt. But of course you don't get any ranking points for that tournament, even though it's a big money event. If you did, he'd be sitting pretty.
Round ball.
But with a frame like this, with high scoring, extremely difficult, any sort of lead that Murphy can build will be a lead worth having in his bid to get over the line without need of a decider. Oh, and he's missed the red, goodness. Well, that is a surprise, but sometimes pots that would ordinarily be routine become a bit trickier when you lose all sense of rhythm, and that has happened to both players because of the nature of the snooker over the last half hour or so.
Foul. Miss. Shaun Murphy 4.
don't think the cue ball could have been quite where it is now. Ben can't attempt the shot that he previously played from there. But I think Maike Kesseler knows that. She's just getting the distance from the cue ball to the bulk cushion correct before she just moves the cue ball over as she's doing here. That's what a lot of referees do, actually. They focus on one particular aspect of the repositioning of the cue ball before correcting the other. Don't think it's particularly important in this instance to have the cue ball millimetre perfect. Ben may well attempt the shot than he did previously, but you could see just towards the end of its path the cue ball did seem to want to wander off to the left a little. Just see what happens here. And it's certainly hard enough, but will the cue ball stay straight? No. Ben's signalling with his cue that it's rolling off, and that's what's happened. Well, what does he do now? If a red hasn't been left, then dare he try the same shot again? Because if he doesn't make contact this third time round, the frame and thereby the match will be awarded to his opponent. He will be warned by referee Maike Kesseler very shortly. In this instance, you only have to be able to make contact with an object ball, full ball. There you go, the warning has been issued. Ben had better be careful here. Playing the double kiss shot, he's caught it all wrongly. Oh, it could have finished worse, although looking at the table properly, I can see that there's a much better red on for Shaun into this left centre. He can run up for the brown or maybe even the pink. One good pot here from Shaun and frame a match. Could be at his mercy, but there would still be plenty to do. Has choice here of brown or pink. Be handy for Shaun to have that pink on its spot, that's for certain.
High value colours have been extremely elusive throughout this frame, which has been
7.
Very heavy weather, but Murphy gradually building a lead that may yet carry him to the next round.
8.
It's not been a fluent sort of match, although both have made 90 breaks. It's all about getting the victory at this stage of the tournament, though. Guaranteed 15,000 ranking points
14.
for Murphy if he wins today, taking him ever closer to that possible crucible seeding.
15.
I don't think Shaun expects to win frame a match from here, but with those extra 6 points from the pink, and if he can just pot the two open reds with high value colours, he'll really be a strong favourite to win this frame and match. But maybe not from this particular visit.
$22. $28. Shaun Murphy, 28.
Just 28, but the lead now 47, and that's a significant one given the state of affairs that Woollaston is sizing up here. much to be done to get back into this frame.
One.
Yes, it can be very dispiriting when you're a frame away from defeat and significantly behind in the next frame, even if you're given a chance, as Ben has been here, to know that the reds and the colours are tied up the way they are. You don't really believe in your heart of hearts that you're likely to win a frame like this until you can develop some of the high value colours along with some of the reds.
All over, by the way, on table 2, with Dave Gilbert eventually winning that deciding frame against Chris Wakelin. 2-0 up, 3-2 behind Gilbert, but he's come through. So either Neil Robertson or Yuan Sejun next for him.
Then Woollaston 7.
A 40 the deficit for Woollaston, still a possible 59 on the table.
I think Shaun once again just felt that that cue ball was wandering away hither and thither.
At least from Woollaston's point of view, the pink and black are now both in play, so if he does get a chance, he's got an opportunity to score and therefore get back in the frame.
He very nearly made a plant of the two reds. In fact, Shaun just had a look at them there. Because Shaun doesn't really want to disturb the two reds together near the top cushion. Doesn't want to bring them into play and put them in possible positions, but this will be a foul, long way short of pace. Now, does Ben feel the plant is on from where the cue ball lay? No, having the cue ball replaced. Still 36 points behind, 59 points remain.
Just don't know how far it was from the cushion. Should we check it? Yeah. Can you just... Please, thank you. Can you just please move the camera a little bit for us? Thank you.
Maike Kesseler just wants to double check that things are as they should be.
Queenie, what would you say?
Queenie Lou is the marker.
Queenie looks a little bit perplexed there. Ah, I think she's finally got the freeze frame up, so she can direct the referee now. What was that VAR thing we had in football the other day? Was it 7 minutes 33 or something, wasn't it?
Looks like there's been some sort of technical malfunction backstage, which is why this is taking as long as it is.
Mark Williams, the governing body representative
Okay, so-
here, who's
yeah,
a bit of a
Leave it. Thank you.
wizard
Sorry, Shaun.
with the old technical stuff.
I'm not sure if they have a picture. Yeah. Thank you. I'm sorry.
Well, we're going to continue as is. It's not a frame that's going to live long in the memory in terms of its quality, but Murphy won't care if he wins it and gets through to the next round. Feels like a long road back at the moment for Woollaston. But as mentioned, the table is a little more attractive now than it was from his point of view, with those high value colours now in play.
I love these little cat and mouse duels, because you've got one player that wants to keep things as tight as possible and tie up as many balls as possible, and you've got the other player trying to bring things into play.
Foul. Miss. Shaun Murphy 4. Sorry?
Ben Woollaston making it slightly more tricky for himself. He's not got too much room to manoeuvre now as he just misses the edge of the red.
Shaun Murphy 4.
.44
now the deficit, 59 left.
Yes, these 4 points are no laughing matter from Ben Woollaston's point of view, because of the deficit now, as Phil says, is 44, but there are only 59 remaining. Shaun wanted the cue ball to finish behind those 2 reds there. I don't know why it didn't. It just seemed to straighten up that cue ball a little bit. So Ben now has the chance to force Shaun to bring balls into play by playing the cue ball into bulk. There's no way Shaun would risk dropping onto these 2 reds here. But having said that, he may have to, because could risk cannoning into other balls or playing the cue ball into bulk, so he's taken a touch of a risk there. But now finally Ben can bring one of these reds into open play.
A red and a black would be enough for Murphy to leave his opponent requiring a snooker.
Well, that's pretty well played by Shaun. Ben could attempt a pot here, but it's very risky. If he does play the safety, he needs to be careful where this red finishes. Oh, he's taken the pot on. Long way out. Where's it going to finish? Oh, well, it's safe to a degree. The red next to the pink is potable for Shaun. And if he plays a cue ball anywhere towards a bulk cushion, of course a blue will be waiting for him.
Long way off with that one. But Murphy seems to be holding all the cards at the moment.
I think Ben would like to play the red near the blue to bring it out into open play somewhere near the other red that's by the blue spot. Oh, he's played a double. Oh, what a pot. Did he go for the double? Wow, audacious, to say the least.
So, Woollaston with an opportunity to get at least back in the frame. Suddenly the colours are out in the open. The remaining couple of reds close to the top cushion need attention, but it's an opportunity. He's been second favourite throughout this frame, really. Murphy gradually building a lead of substance. But he's still got an opportunity to take this match to a 7th and final frame.
Oh, it's so rare to see a player attempt a double like that because there's very little pocket to go at. That red was so close to the green pocket that when it came across towards the yellow pocket, it was almost going along the cushion rail. But he's lovely here on the blue to play a delicate cannon into the two reds. Oh, he just didn't catch them enough. But does the top red of the two still pop?
12.
It's a thin cut, but it clearly goes.
It's amazing how quickly things can change. Just a handful of minutes ago, Murphy looked, if not nailed on for this frame, then a very warm favourite, but not anymore. They're all there for Woollaston.
The double on the red, though, I mean...
19.
He's earned this opportunity, but what a double it was. But this is the pressure ball. He's got to play this with just a little bit of pace to get out for a colour. And it's in. And he has choice of pink or black. Well, which is the best to try and get onto the yellow with? I could make a case for both pink or black here. Well, Ben's decided to leave a mid-distance yellow. He obviously thought the pink wasn't ideal, but, you know, in a situation like this, I'd like to be closer to my object ball.
What a big shot this is. Certainly missable. Oh, but stroked in very nicely. Nerveless stuff from Woollaston, who's had to bide his time in this very awkward frame, which has lasted well over half an hour. But it's in his hands now.
Thank you.
An opportunity he didn't expect to get.
32.
Before Stephen Maguire withdrew for medical reasons. up against one of the form horses of the season in Shaun Murphy. And with a golden opportunity to make it a one-frame shootout for a place in the last 16.
41.
Pink and black required. Well, he's just lost the cue ball a touch there. It shouldn't be a problem, but maybe this black just a little more tricky than it might have been. But this for 3-all. And in it goes. A cool clearance indeed from Ben Woollaston, launched by that audacious red. And so Shaun Murphy, who looked firm favourite to close the match out there, is now going to have to win a decider. We're going all the way in Hong Kong now. Final match of the afternoon session here at the World Grand Prix. It's 3 apiece. Here we go then. We've had the handshake, the final frame. Ben Woollaston to break for a place in the last 16 of the World Grand Prix. Shaun Murphy is a former champion of this tournament. Currently 10th on the one-year list. So he can certainly look forward to the Players' Championship coming up in a couple of weeks' time in Telford. But there is still that nagging concern for Murphy about his Crucible seeding, which is yet to be secured. And obviously defeat today in this frame would be a bit of a setback in that regard. So the pressure's on.
Yes, it can be quite a shock to the system when you think that you've just about won frame a match and then all of a sudden it's snatched away from you and you have to find that focus, that concentration again, and that belief that you can win a deciding frame when you thought that the match was already going to be over in your favour a few minutes earlier. I don't like that, Shaun. That shot that Shaun has played, because for me that just gives Ben now an opportunity to play an attacking safety shot. For playing thick off the pack of reds. And the only problem is, though, you can't guarantee that you won't put a red near a corner pocket somewhere, but if Ben can play this well, Shaun could be under a lot of pressure playing his next safety shot. No, he's not. I thought for a moment that Ben was taking that red on, but well, he hasn't done a lot with that safety, but he has got a good cue ball.
Way too thick from Murphy, and he'll be relieved to see the cue ball arrive back at the baulk cushion, not as he intended for sure.
He won't be pleased, though, that he's cannoned the black to a position of relative safety. could drop this red in slowly. He'd be on the black, but it's very risky, so he's digging down instead to screw clear of the pack. But he's knocked it in. Has he held for a colour? Well, no, but if the cue ball keeps running, does he have an angle on the brown to get onto another red? Maybe not.
And Woollaston 1.
Oh, the pain, the anguish on the face there of Ben Woollaston. Because I think that the red at the bottom of that main bunch is possible here. This is a big moment. Shaun's potted it, he's got on the black, he's developed reds, and a great chance. I say a great chance. Shaun was very unfortunate to be so straight on the black. He could only just drop it in. But he does still have a red to the right centre. And maybe the straightest red to the green pocket. Oh, played it confidently.
Yeah, that was one of the best pots of the match. Had a very key moment in this contest. Murphy has never had trouble getting over the winning line. Hard to believe it's 2 decades ago that he became only the second qualifier after Terry Griffiths to win the World Championship.
17.
He's been in 3 other finals at the Crucible since then. Now a multiple Masters champion. What a career. And yet, arguably, given his talent and the fact that he's got one of the best cue actions
22.
we've ever seen in the game, he could have won quite a bit more.
Yeah, he's just won the 12, I'll say just the 12 world ranking titles, but I think given Shaun's ability, he's capable of a lot more. I think it's his style of play. If he's just a little bit off his game in terms of potting and break building, he's a little more vulnerable than some of the players are, perhaps.
Yes, I think he'd look at his contemporaries, Neil Robertson, Mark Selby, who were well into the 20s in terms of their ranking title tally. Of course, Selby's just won his 2nd of the season at the Welsh Open to go with the British Open, and feel that maybe he should be in that sort of bracket. But he's still very ambitious, 42 years of age now, Murphy. And some of the snooker he's produced this season, particularly at the Masters, has been as good as you'll see. And he'll want to be clinical now and finish this match off. The last frame was a real trial. He looked likely to win it. It was snatched from his grasp at the last, so he'll want to win this one with a good deal more comfort, I should say, get into the next round and a meeting with either Hawkins or Tom Ford.
$39.
Well, care needs to be taken now by Shaun, because that was the last of the easily available reds, but you can see there's one right in the middle of that bunch there that will pot into the same pocket as the black, and Shaun has played that positionally to perfection. And he may be able to run through for the black into the right corner here. Oh, he's screwing back, okay. Thought he could have run through for the black and nudged a red or two back into play. Now, he hasn't finished nicely on a colour here, but blue has to be favourite, surely.
Again, I think there's some movement with Murphy preparing to cue. He's slightly hampered here. So this is another big shot in his bid to close this match out at this visit. No problem. Things looking a little grim now for Ben Woollaston, who took on the brown, played it with top spin to get position, but missed the brown, got the position. And Murphy, at the moment, doing the rest.
53. $60.
A very different frame to the last one, which was a real slog. This to put him 67 in front with 67 left. And just the routine red to seal the deal, and this has been impressive from Murphy and typical of him, really.
68.
He's managed to summon the blood when it mattered most in the decider. Potted that excellent
69.
long range red to keep the break going into the green pocket. And Ben Woollaston's adventure in Hong Kong looks to be coming to an end. Of course, it was a bonus for Ben to be here with the withdrawal of Stephen Maguire. And he's picked up some very handy points
76.
and pounds in the shape of 10,000 for getting the chance to compete. And he's
77.
extended the Masters champion to a decider, but it's Murphy who's dominated it.
$84.
Not sure the bottom red is actually potable, but he could plant the top red onto it to try and keep the break going. Give himself the chance of making career century 705.
Couldn't have played that any better.
85.
So Murphy finishing with a flourish. It's been a very profitable season for him in more ways than one. Adding a second Masters to his CV was a very special moment for him, but he's also collected in excess of £740,000. And for Ben Woollaston, ultimately disappointment. He did so well to pinch the previous frame with a really cool clearance from an unpromising position. But there's the century for Murphy, the 49th of the campaign.
$101.
And a very significant win as he bids to secure a Crucible seeding. He's still got work to do in that regard, but this certainly helps.
108.
A guaranteed extra 5,000 points coming his way for victory today. And his game
110.
is in great shape. It's been at times a struggle, this match. The balls have been awkward on occasion. But Murphy finishes in style. A break of 110 to see off Ben Woollaston, who congratulates him sportingly. Shaun Murphy through. He applauds this Hong Kong crowd. He's into the last 16 of the World Grand Prix here on TNT Sports. And he's finished with a world-class century to get the job done. Murphy through to the round of 16 by 4 frames to 3.
Well, Shaun, considering Ben Woollaston was a very late replacement for Stephen Maguire, he pushed you quite hard there.
Yeah, I mean, like at this level, you know, there are no easy games. You can't take anyone for granted. The fact that Ben was a late call-up doesn't change the fact that he's an incredibly difficult player to beat. Nobody batters Ben Woollaston. You know, he's a really, really tough player to play against. He showed that today, and the clearance he made in the 6th frame, like, has to be one of the best clearances of all time. You know, to stay in the match where the balls were. He doubled the first red. It's just not a traditional shot from there. And I'm sat there thinking, what's he playing? Next thing you know, he's shaking hands in a decider, and it's the last thing you want.
But a lovely way to finish the match with a century.
Yeah, do you know, it was a very tough match, but there were moments where I felt really good. I mean, I started the match nicely. I made the foul in the first frame, called it on myself, and he dished up. That's like the first frame. Not much you can do about that. You know, I had 97 for a century and went in off the brown, and then finished with a century there in the last frame. Like, you know, my game's good for the most part. I think perhaps just in that game, I probably put myself under a bit too much pressure. You know, I've got more than one eye on this crucible seedings problem that, you know, I've caused myself by winning 2 tournaments 2 years ago at the same time of the year. So it's my own problem. But, you know, I certainly put myself under pressure to try and make sure that I avoid Judgment Day.
So you're very conscious of that.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I mean, you know, someone said to me recently, of course, the last time you went to the qualifiers for the World Championships, it all worked out okay. So it wouldn't be the absolute end of the world if I had to go. But sure, listen, I'd rather not have to go if I don't have to.
And the confidence you must have brought into this phase of the season from winning in the Masters was huge. I mean, I remember having the privilege of interviewing you on the arena floor, and I saw this almost wild look of elation in your eyes that I hadn't seen in any other event. So you know the top game is there. Yeah, well, that voice in your head, you know, can say some awful things to you when you think things aren't going well. It had been saying some very negative things to me over the last few seasons. Since the Masters, it's been saying some much nicer things. It's been reminding me that I can do it, that I am good enough. And I suppose in moments like that there this afternoon, when you get your chance to do it now, that's when that voice makes the most difference. And it's interesting to hear your thoughts on being here in Hong Kong, specifically because your uncle worked in the police here before Hong Kong went back to China in 1997. So it's a special place for you, and not just because it's a cool area to come and play snooker. Do you know, I remember growing up as a child hearing about my Uncle Frank, who was, you know, in this far distant part of the world called Hong Kong. You know, my auntie Vicky, you know, obviously they lived here together. They had children here. My cousins were born here. It was always a very, very special place that we heard about as a family. We, you know, when Skype first became a thing, we got the call from Frank, and, you know, it was great. You know, great memories. Sadly no longer with us, but you know, he spoke very fondly of Hong Kong. My family loved their time here, and, you know, whenever I come here, I feel just that little bit closer to them. And it's a great story, and it is a really special place. It's my first full experience of Hong Kong. There's a vibe here, isn't there? Yeah, I mean, it's fantastic. You know, it's one of the sort of old, you know, port cities, isn't it? You know, it's a real focal point of trade and commerce around the world still to this day. You see those famous buildings, don't you, with offices in London, New York and Hong Kong. It's one of the Holy Trinity. Well, it's brilliant that you're playing so well and that you're enjoying being here in Hong Kong. Go well for the rest of the week. Cheers, Rob. Thank you. Thanks. Cheers, Shaun.